Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kings and queens, a very good morning to you on this bright Tuesday morning. At least leo hakuna baridi. Yes, I'm back. My name is Ann Cutie, or as Shitera says, Ann Njoroge. Kwa wale wanauliza, hata Lennox anauliza, director is Cheki, naitwa Ann Njoroge. But Cutie is of course, my name. Glad to be back. And of course, my usual panel, but we have a surprise guest. Tutamalizia nae. Wacha nianze na the usuals, alafu tumalizie nae. Bobby,
good morning.
I miss you, Mama.
We're bringing the color as usual.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
And actually about you being Ann Njoroge, my dad was saying, kumbe Cutie anaitwa Njoroge, Ann Njoroge. I'm always watching you on TV, so he's a huge fan.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Baba Bobby.
Karibuni sana. We have a beautiful face. I'm just waiting for you to
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, Masana. Ken? Ken Washiro. How are you?
Karibuni, we najua mahali ulikuwa. Wisdom tooth inakupeleka aje?
At least I can speak now.
Okay. Is she doesn't?
I needed a break. I think the universe had that I needed to shut up for a while. So that's what I was doing. I was just shutting up at home.
Wow.
I would say who said it, but
yeah, someone said it.
Somebody just made sure that you keep quiet for a while.
And of course,
CJ.
I know CJ is missing in action today, but atakuwa hapa next week. And of course, we have a beautiful, beautiful guest. And she's a lawyer by the name of Shanice Nasenya, Kenyan tech and cybersecurity lawyer and data privacy advocate. My lords, I get excited when I hear such big names with women. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much for having me.
Wambie tena.
Your summary, it's very weird to hear it summarized in like 2 minutes. But yes, I'm a data protection and cybersecurity lawyer because the digital space is our space. Yeah. So we might as well.
Hey, I'm so ready for this conversation today, by the way. Of course, big up my dad, Mr. Josh, always watching. Last week, alikuwa nini. But we're doing child protection, like online child protection. Remember, we had started this conversation when the kids were closing school, and we are continuing with this conversation because it's a big concern. I've realized we are always having these conversations with my friends, and you're like, why do we give 1-year-olds tablets, phones? Are we monitoring what our kids are doing? I don't know. The expert will tell us today if it's a good or a bad thing. I don't know. But most times, you'll find that we're getting tablets, we're getting phones for them, we're letting them watch TVs. Are we controlling what the kids are watching online? That's the big question. Do you know what your child is doing with the phone? Because hapo ndo unapatanga watu wao wamejoin magroups zingine, unapata watu wao wamekuwa bullied, unapata mtu yeye ana go through so much, yet you don't know. But who is giving access to the kids? Who is really giving access to the kids? It's we as the parents. Are you really controlling? Na uzuri, kuna kwa hizo control. There are those apps that actually control. If you don't know, leo kaa rada because we are here. We're in class. By the way, the class is in session. You better get ready for this. But I want to start with you, Ken. Like, I would love to know what are the psychological, maybe, impacts that might happen to the children if we give them too much screen time. You find that a child, ukiangalia vizuri si mwenye mtu yeye anatumia. Unapata mtu yeye atako kwa phone 10 hours. 10 good hours. Mtu yeye kutoka asubuhi hadi jioni aja move kwa seat yake. Even eating is a problem. Even just telling that child to do something, it's actually a problem. But what are the psychological impacts that might come from having excessive screen time for the children?
Okay. You know, when you told us you were speaking about this today, I told my kids to wake up and listen.
Wow, amazing. I like that.
So good morning to Tasha and I know they are watching. Let me start a little far, kidogo. When I left high school, many years ago, 2002.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, sawa.
When we were leaving school, you'd hear people being asked, what do you want to go and do? You'd hear somebody talk about, I want to go and study computer packages. Yani, it was an in thing. You'd actually go to school to do computer packages. And those who are not fortunate did not have that opportunity to go and do the computer packages. But what about today, 23 years later? These are things that even my son is able to use. At the age of 7, he sends me a text and I'm like, at what point do you be able to write all these things? One thing we cannot do is we cannot make our children not to grow with what are their toys. Our toys, we were used to making our own football, nylon. Then it came to hizi zingine. Sasa, the toys of today are the gadgets. But everything that comes must come with its own pros and cons. It must come with some do's and don'ts. And one of the things that we need to do is to ensure that the screen time does not go over and beyond. Because internet has a way of making your thought process to be so thin, you will only concentrate on one line. Internet also has a way of ensuring that you do not live to the real world. You live in another world. Like, they think because you can drive on the gadget, you've now become a driver. You should know the kind of problems we have with my daughter when she tells me, but daddy, see me who drive. Yeah? Allow me to also drive yours. Eh? We need to change the reality versus what is in the internet. We are also seeing a situation where creativity is going down if we do not show our children the apps to be creative. What is happening today even when it comes to writing? You don't want to write, you just want to go chat GPT. I hear there's another one, DeepSeek, that is deeper than chat.
Trust me, it is.
It is. I've used it. Like, I have not used it. I've used it and I know it's deeper. But the lack of creativity is one of the things we are going to struggle with. Now that we are talking about doing work behind the screen at the comfort of your bed, they don't want to go out of the house now. We're going to have a situation in the near future where the children who are more exposed to AI, we're in the fourth revolution of the artificial intelligence, and the ones who do not have the AI, it's like we're going to be in two different worlds. Yeah, a world where now it's not the I wanted to say hustler, but hiyo jina imekuwa the affluent and the ones who are not. Maybe we should go back to what we used to call them kitambo, the aristocrats and the hoi polloi. Yeah, you will see a difference because again we are also upgrading the gadgets to be too fast too soon. Even before you can learn iPhone 15, we're in 16.
17.
Hey. Imetoka 17? Oh, ni almost. Yeah?
Syllabus inakimbia catch up.
Syllabus inakimbia haraka sana. And as you say, the chores of the children are not being given the way it was supposed to be manual work. We are now allowing them more screen time and we are making them lazy. Children need to be social beings. If we take them out and everybody has a gadget, at what time will they socialize? At what time will they use their skills? Football can never be football if it is enjoyed on the tablet.
I know.
It must be football when you play it in the field. Why? Because even the physique of the children, I'm sorry to say this, the level of obese children that we are now also experiencing is somehow related to gadget use. Why? They are just seated, having a bite, no exercise. The only time they wake up is when they use the bathroom and they are back. When the screens go off, they become like now everything has stopped. If electricity goes off and you live in a place where there is no generator backup, your children are stranded. They don't know what to do. We always talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. You've heard people talk about PTSD, but now we are experiencing something called PMSD, post-mortem stress disorder, where if the Wi-Fi goes down, it's like people now are sick.
That's when they leave the bedrooms for the first time.
For the first time. Yeah. Now, what do we need to do is we need to regulate. I've always believed that freedom without accountability is counterproductive. And parents don't have to give the gadgets because they don't want to take the responsibility of parenting. It's now the holidays. If it is okay, regulate. Even the time the Wi-Fi can come. I have a brother called Gabi. He was teaching me on Saturday, Sikushika kitu Gabi, I'm coming back, how to use the Mac now and go to block some IP addresses for some time, so that if I know my daughter's or son's tablet or the Wi-Fi, I can be able to control up to what time. At least he's shown me how to control the tablet. Kama jana nilifika naambiwa, dadi unajua ilifika mahali kajizima. Kasema hizi vitu zinakuanga hivyo. So today, I want us now to go and have a lesson on why did I put the regulation there? Why have I put that you cannot download the app. At least that one Tasha understands that you cannot download any app on your tablet without first discussion with me and your mother. And secondly, it has to prompt to my phone so that I see I allow or I decline. So it's all about taking responsibility as a parent, because if you do not, the children will think everything happens within a tablet, and it's not the truth.
And you know, actually nowadays you can control that with your phone. You can control the TV with your phone, because you can be able to know like what they're watching, for how long they've watched it. You can actually switch off the TV with your phone.
Yes.
Hata ukiwa hapa, ukaitu if you decide, by the way, wacha sahi wa watch, usizime saizi. But coming to you, Naisenya, being the expert now, let's first talk about the risks that the children are facing online before we talk on how to mitigate them. So maybe you can start with the risks, and then again now we go back to the how to mitigate all these risks.
I'd like to actually pick up on something that Ken put down. This is a collaborative effort within the family unit. Even, I'm pretty sure yourself, your children can show you something that's on the internet or on their apps or on the tablets that you had no idea about. So, hii yote ni learning experience. We are walking together in this journey. This is something that you can learn with your child. Kwa sababu hata saizi we see people on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, they get these direct messages, the DMs, iko na link, unaambiwa, free giveaway. You've won a new iPhone 16. Click this link to win $1,000. Which competition did you enter?
Which one?
And adults are actually succumbing to these risks. Now that is an example of a phishing link, where they send you a link, and then when you click it, because umeambiwa utapatiwa reward, you lose your account, where you have your personal details, you have your phone number, you have your address. All of this information is up for the taking. And so these are the risks that we face: phishing, fraud. We have online predators when you wanatafuta watoto wenu for send me a photo, I will not show anyone. The internet is a crazy place. So those are some of the risks that we are seeing. And to mitigate, it is a collaborative effort, like we have said. They need to be told. These are children who are very tech savvy, they are adept, they understand these things. Have a conversation with them. Talk to them about how online scams actually look like, how phishing actually looks like. That person that they are talking to, that they've been gaming with for 20 hours up on Xbox, wameshinda wakiongea, wakipiga kelele, they're somewhere a million kilometers away in another continent. They don't know who that person is. You need to have these conversations with your children. Tell them about the importance of passwords. Tell them, even make it a game. We play together, let's set up a nice phrase. The best password is actually a phrase, by the way. It's not a word. The spaces in between, right now kule tumefika kwa quantum computer, it has a difficulty reading spaces. So that is one of the benefits of using a phrase. It's harder to crack. An extra security that you can set up on the apps that you use, it's called a two-factor authentication. That is the most basic one.
True.
Ata kama ujui hizi vitu zingine, jua hiyo. If you forget everything that I've said today, remember that one. And you can even do it with your children. Like he said, he's going to go home and set it up on the many apps that they use, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. You just make sure this basically says, ata kama password yako itaibwa, they have another thing that they need in order to access your account. Ata kama click hiyo link bila kujua, they'll need that code that is going to be sent to you on two-factor authentication. So if they don't have that, at least you have a layer of security. We can also talk to them about how to report when they get abused, when they get bullied online. We never know what these children are going through. First of all, you have to teach them how to block that person or that page that is bullying them and report it. Because again, like you've said, these apps, they have the safeguards. Uko ndani, imewekwa huko kwa settings. Hiyo kitu inaitwa settings, najua ni annoying, but kindly go through it, because all of these things are there. We just have to know how to find them. So after you block, you report that account, you tell a responsible adult, of course. Usiogope, it's a collaborative effort, we have said. And then we have the Kenya Computer Incident Response Team, or the Coordination Center. They have hotlines. They have 2 hotlines. It is an initiative by the Communications Authority of Kenya. Wakona numbers wameeka hapo online. I don't know if you can easily find them if you just Google the hotline for reporting computer incidents issues. And they can easily get assistance there.
True.
Yeah.
And I like how this conversation is going, because you said it's a collaborative effort.
Yes.
It's the parent, it's the children, it's the guardians, it's everyone actually who is taking care of the kids. And maybe coming to you, Bobby, I know maybe you have maybe nieces, nephews, but now tuanze na wewe kwanza, because a parent can borrow from you. She has talked about the two-step authentication. Like, do we actually do that? Because I remember even here at work tuliekewa hiyo two-step authentication, like zile za ukilog in kwa kompingine lazima unini. But do you actually do that? How do you protect yourself from online scams? Hizo stories are phishing. Have you ever gotten like hizi vitu za online, mtu anakuja anakuambia click on this link, au tunakutaka ukwe brand ambassador wetu, you know, unajua kuna vitu mingi online, so wewe unaweza fikiria hey, this is a way for me making money. So have you ever come across that, and how did you protect yourself from that?
Kwanza saizi X, kuna watu wengi sana wanani message text ya I am in Canada and I have cancer and my account has 200 and what dollars. And I'm just thinking about, you know, even sometimes right now, currently, there's some AI videos you'll watch and you'll not be able to tell
if it's AI.
Sengine hadi kwa group chat, my parents are sending videos of sijui what. I'm like, can't you guys tell that this is there's a difference between like a real life person and AI? And if they are getting deceived on that level, and sometimes pia mimi napata nimenaswa, unaona video normal alafu ukienda comments unaona watu wakisema ni like what, this looks so realistic. So I think anyone anaweza naswa kwa imtego ya social media. And yes, this messages that are pushing towards phishing and, you know, stealing your accounts, they're very, very much present. Especially I, as a social media user, as an avid user, I get to experience these messages a lot and I see them a lot. And let me tell you, you might think you're smart or like unajua, but siku yako ya kunaswa, utanaswa. And I love what, you know, Shanice and Ken were saying, because especially the fact that they acknowledged these kids are really, really smart. They're very tech savvy. They know stuff even we don't know yet. And I like that they also mentioned it's very much collaborative effort, meaning we need to be very active in these kids' lives. And this brings me back to the conversation. Yesterday I was somewhere talking about being child-free, and I mentioned how parenthood needs a lot of deliberation.
It does.
You know how when you're planning a business, you're thinking about all the risks, all the advantages, the pros and cons, everything you're going to enjoy, everything you're going to lose. But how come when it comes to parenthood, ni kama tuko game ya trizex, ni kama let's go with it, we're going to figure it. You need to account for such risks as well. You need to understand when a situation right now that hizi vitu zina advance, hizi vitu zina songa, ukiachwa nyuma ni wewe unaachwa nyuma. So you have to get on board and know what exactly is happening. And to tie this into parenthood means you need to learn as your kids are learning. I remember when Miss mzee sana, lakini when I was growing up, lazima nipe disclaimer.
That's funny.
I'm not as old as Ken. Ken was, alikuwa na mwanzo shule 20s. I was just 4 years old by then. But when I was growing up and, you know, we were doing the computer packages and stuff, you realize, I remember feeling really, really smart because I knew how to do stuff. And even now, mpaka saizi, my mom still tells me, ebu nieke kwa AI ndo itoke sijui aje. It's not that it's difficult, it's just that maybe she's not as interested to learn on her own, so she'll take a step back. Please don't do that now. Yeah, now watoto wadogo kwa nyumba, sisi ni grown-ups. But now as an active parent in your kids' lives, you have to learn these things. So I think that these things are happening and they can nasa the best, the smartest, the most learned. If you're not actively participating in the trends right now and getting to know about, there's a lot of stuff Shanice talked about that, after me listening, I'm like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that before? But it needs deliberate thought. Ata wewe too with your social media sites. There's also these messages that have been going around of late. CG, your package has been dropped where, if you click CG poster, and if you click on the link, you go on the page. It's a very legit looking page. I don't know if these guys are doing something about it. But if you go on the page, you see, and then they say, Sijui Eka account, and then you need to pay 40 bob, just put your card. You know, you'll think, wow, I'm just about to receive a package for 40 bob.
Really?
Unaweka information ya card haraka sana, unasikia tu shoop. Your money from Sijui where. So I think it's important that, you know, we try to be a bit more deliberate. Parentu daitaki uzembe. Hauna luxury watu kama mimi ya kusema today I'll just let my kids do their stuff. You actually have to be very involved. Inakaa usoro na ni kama unawafuata around ukijua, but I think it's better to cultivate a relationship where you can have easy conversations with your kid about stuff. Because even when they're getting bullied at school, even if they're being... there was this story that came out last year about a kid who committed suicide.
Yes, I remember. Because
they ended up sending the nude pictures online to someone who's a grown man, and this man started demanding for money. And the dad was giving an interview talking about, I just wish I knew. You know, I just wish I knew, and I would have told him it's fine. Even if these pictures are circulated, we still love you, we still choose you. This kid panicked and iced themselves. And if they had an easier space to be able to communicate with their parents and just say, you know, mom, nimefanya hivi, what do we do next? Just because we're not being in our kids' lives as well, it's in a strange relationship and then in a breakdown communication. So please, parents, hamna luxury kama ya kubata ya kulala the whole day ama kutokuwa involved na watoto wenu. Please kuweni involved, because it makes a difference. You're one step away from saving your kids' lives. Now it's even about life and death. It's not just about losing money or self-esteem. Now it's about life and death. So it's important that we are very intentional.
Yes, and very vigilant. Lazima tukae vigilant na mambo za online. And Ken, from a psychology point of view, let's talk about how do we identify this in kids, because watoi wetu wako online. They are always online. We don't know what they are doing. Hata tujui ni groups gani wana get into. Hizi biashara zenye watoi wana get online. That's how they get recruited. Mambo na terrorism, mambo na hizi mabiashara zenye hata we understand. So how do we identify maybe tabia kama hizo, like even cyberbullying also? You can talk about the cyberbullying. Mtoi maybe anakuwa harassed online. Mtoi maybe anakuwa recruited into groups that we are not even aware. Well, mtoi wako hajai kuitisha do, but they are making money online. Ashakuwa recruited kwa groups zingine. So how do we identify that, and how do we help these children?
You know, a habit turns into an addiction slowly, but before it becomes an addiction, you should have seen the signs. If we're seated, maybe the four of us, and everybody is on their phone, and it's only Bobby who is giggling, that tells you that Bobby is having a different conversation from the rest of us. Ile giggle ama zile panics.
Reaction.
And the amount of time that you want to dedicate. So number one, you must break a sequence of usage when it comes to the usage of technology amongst the children. People who are very predictable have a way of making sure that at this particular time, you will see a child wanting to use their phones at night. You know, parents think that to punish your children, wanyang'anye simu mchana so that they be active, wapatie usiku because they will sleep. Where? These people are nocturnals. They cannot even sleep. You know, screen time has a way, even for us as adults, as long as you are having an engaging conversation, there's a way you are not ready to stop. You don't want to look like you're the first one to say, let me go to sleep. You want to continue moving. Ni kama tu clubbing. The more you continue doing it, the more it becomes an addiction for you. You don't feel guilty anymore. Parents need to have a way, the security that Shanice was talking about, that you have the superior rights of the admin of any security that is put in that phone. How do you allow, last week I was telling, the previous week, that parents ni sisi tumekataa kuenda juu ya watoto hawajakomaa zaidi yetu. How do you allow somebody living under your house, spending your Wi-Fi, using a gadget that you're the one who bought, to even decline you to get into using it? You know, let me tell you something. One day I was talking to parents, and I was teaching them about identifying children who use drugs. And one of the parents told me, whatever you're talking about is true, Nikamwambia, then enter your son's room to go and find out whether it's true. Do you know what the parent told me? Ati mtoto pale juu ameandika, no parents beyond this door. Akaniuliza, what do you do? Mi nikampatia tu mawaidha ile ya free. Nikamwambia, if the problem is the door, remove the door.
Atoe mlango sasa.
Atoe mlango. And ile time tulitoa mlango, because aliitoa nikiwa hapo. All the paraphernalia related to drugs were there. You know, a parent who takes time to know their children. A parent who knows what excites their children. I told you, antisocial behavior is not something you take for granted when it comes to children. There is no child who can be termed as an introvert. From birth, this was an introvert. No, they have learned how to seclude themselves. That child who sits at the corner, what are they hiding? That child who does not want to join the others to go and play, and it's their favorite game. That child who chooses not to watch TV, and this is a program that can be watched on TV and on tablet. What are they hiding? Because kuna scenes labda kwa tablet anataka yeye mwenyewe ajione. So as parent, you need, number one, screen time. How much time is allowable? Just like work. Children can never be given more than enough. A third of the day can never be spent in the internet. Even for us as adults, you spend more than a third. You know, tracking today, even you've talked about TikTok or Instagram or FB or X. If you go to analytics, it tells you how much screen time did you spend on that app. I've seen TikTok now going an extra mile and telling you how many times did you log into it. Not only the screen time, how many times. And you start wondering where. Nimetoa wapi? Stealing your employer's time. Now, if by the way, and you know, that's where now phishings come in. Have you ever asked yourself, how comes, even when you go to screen time, if you watch more of purchasing plots, you will now start seeing building houses coming. That's artificial intelligence. So let me give parents just kitu moja to go to your Google search of your child's gadget. Just click on history.
Where?
That's where you will know what is this. And then you start looking at, is this an interest to them, or is this something that they are learning from others? And I want to say this with a lot of kindness, that we all have mannerisms that are out there, some that are not good. Scammers are there. Pedophiles are there. And, you know, these people act as if they are okay with you. When we allow even our children to be on the internet so much, najiulizanga, sijui, ulisema kuna katoto, ati a parent starts an IG page for their child.
Yes.
That's very good.
Very good.
Very good. Until it gets to, oh, my mommy is the best. Oh, my daddy. That's now been a narcissist.
Mental illness.
That's a mental, by the way, it's a mental illness.
It is.
It's a mental illness. It's a desire to be loved. It's a desire to be loved, and nobody is expressing it. So you think when you say, my daughter, oh, my mommy is the best, who has typed it? Your daughter probably does not even know.
She's 3 years old.
3 years. 3 years na mnaanza kakiwa na one day, oh, the cutest. Hata mimi ushangaa vitu zingine hata tunasemanga hapa. Ati, oh, my father is the best in the world. Compared to who? Kwani how many fathers have you had?
Wait, my father is the best.
I know, compared to who? You know, you need to go an extra mile and ask yourself, why are you allowing them to do this? Of course, on the flip side, we've also seen children who do so much, so good out there. But let me tell you something that probably you don't know. If you introduce your children below the age of 14 to fame, they become useless adults. Show me one, locally or internationally, that was not guided well. They were introduced, maybe actors, maybe singers. Where are they at the age of 30? I can count locally here. My fingers will not be enough. When they are used to fame, they now think they are better than any other person. When you tell your children that it's okay to make money, but you do not know the source of their income, you're just accepting money. Money can never be the pacifier of bad behavior. Because, like you've said, how many of our children have been introduced to terrorism? How many of our children have been introduced to bullying? They have been cyberbullied, and so the only way to express it is through other children when they go to school. And you know, even teachers need to be educated more about all this. Don't look at children who are bullies even in school and you start saying, "Huyu ni baba yake ama ni mama yake tabia mbaya." Where sometimes children are not a reflection of their parents. Sometimes children are a reflection of what the parents did not play their role. For example, hii tunasema ya leo, unanunulia computer, you want to tell me that children now can go and look for a recipe. You don't want to teach them to cook, so you tell them, go and Google a recipe, mujipikie lunch. Na ikifika mahali inaambiwa you can burn, na hajui ana burn nini. Yeah? Utamwacha na atachoma nyumba. So parents need to be there. Walk with your child. A child has not yet grown up. Shanice has said something very important. I actually also get shocked that kuna vitu mimi huita Tasha anionyeshe kwa simu yangu. Kuna kaseti hata mimi mwenyewe labda ulimpatia akaweka, hata mimi I have to go and be shown. That's very good. However, ukisoma mara ya kwanza jiulize, ni nini hii ilifanya nisisome tena? If they know more than you, which ideally they should, because they are the generation Utu to Alpha. Unajua, everybody is talking about Gen Z.
Lakini kuna Gen Alpha.
Na beta.
Wewe. Mailu.
Wana terrorize.
Literally.
Wana
do terrorize.
And you know the best part about it is, AI will never come to put parenting aside. I keep telling people that even when we talk about the future is still human.
Yes.
Even when we talk about jobs being automated, there are some jobs that will never be automated. There will be no other HR. We can talk about AI in HR, but not HR in AI, because that human touch is very important. The same when it comes to parenting. Parenthood can never be done away by technology. That parent will still be needed there. So watch out. Don't allow your children to even have email accounts that do not have a backup from you as a parent. Yeah? If they have to have their own address, have a backup. Why? Not because you want to micromanage, but who said it's bad to micromanage? Micromanage your children, because if you do not do it now, then they are going to become useless people and you're going to get worried in the near future.
True that. I like the points that are coming out. And coming to you, Naisenya, maybe you can talk about Data Protection Act, Children Acts, and how they relate with this online. Because sometimes I may not give my child their own phone, but what happens if I give them? I think actually giving them my phone is the worst part. But we do that all the time. Like unapata mtoi amekuja amekwambia nisaidie na simu yako mama. What are they doing with my phone? Na gallery yangu. Of course ataingia TikTok yangu. Nisijui ni nini zina pop up hapo. So maybe you can talk about that, like zile risks zenye sisi wenyewe tuneka watoi. Take a parent through. Umeongea kuhusu of course strong passwords, umeongea kuhusu hizo apps zenye tunaweza monitor nazo, but maybe you can just add on that to ambia about data protection and also Children's Act, what it says about all this protecting the children.
So I like everything that Ken has said, and I'm going to come back to you with a call to action and challenge you and other parents too.
Yes.
But again, what you said, under the Data Protection Act, under Section 27 of the Data Protection Act, inasema anything that has to do with a child's information has to have extra safeguards. That child is your child for a reason. Kwa sababu ni kazi yako kumlea na kuangalia ni nini anafanya. And anything to do with children inafaa kukuwa na consent ya the parent. So now that is where parental controls comes in with the phones and monitoring exactly what they are looking at, because it is your responsibility under the law. The Children's Act also puts that responsibility on you to ensure that whatever it is the child is doing online, you have consented to, you have made sure that they have time limits, you've blocked websites where they can access, which is a very important thing that Ken brought up. Hizi vitu zinakuanga, when you go to a website, even you as a parent, when you access a website, kuna kitu inaitwa cookies. They attach to wherever you go, and that will follow you. Ni kama ka footprint. So mtu akitaka kujua cutie ameenda wapi leo. And maybe again what you said, ametumia simu yako. Ameenda wapi huko. Ndio maana kuna hiyo targeted ads, unakuta you Google something and then all of a sudden your phone is speaking to you. And the ancestors have said
You are craving samosa? Yes, samosa. Yeah.
Just to set those settings, to always set them off. You can even just go to your Google right now and check. Kwa settings, just write cookies. It will bring. And then there's something called clearing the cache.
Yes, clearing
that means everything that you have gone to kule hizo matakataka zote ume collect ukizunguka internet, they have attached to your system. So when you clear them, it means inatoa zote. So at least you have like a clean slate to begin with. And while we're talking about responsibilities of parents, let's start with a simple app. Tumesema hapa watu wanatengenezanga accounts for their children, and we have them very many on TikTok. Have you ever seen the comments that are under there? From those weird
Even
people
the
who
saves.
got the internet.
Even the saves.
The people who are saving this video. Do you know how to shut off those comments? Let's start with you, Ken. Do you know how to shut them
The
off?
content creator turned off the comments creator.
Yeah, so it is in those settings, when you explore those settings and do them together with your child so that they can see. Unaona huyu kile anasema hii si poa. So ukitaka kuzima hii unaenda hapo kwa settings, privacy, una shut off kwa comments. No one is allowed to respond apart from your friends. There's another very popular app. It's called Snapchat. That is where our children are.
Hapo ndio wako wote.
Ukituma a message, mwenye anafaa kutumiwa aone, it disappears.
Yes.
How do you know what they've talked about? In my opinion, in all honesty, I think children under the age of 10 should not be on Snapchat because it's a bit too adult content for children to be there. So let us be vigilant about the apps that these children are downloading. Do we know how they are used? Do we know the safety precautions that are inside those apps? It's very important for you as a parent to focus on that. And again, lead by example. If you overshare only, your child will grow up thinking this is normal, this is okay. Under the law, this is okay. We have the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. A lot of the things that people actually do online are crimes that they don't know are crimes. Spreading misinformation, accessing all these websites. In fact, I was watching a documentary, it's on Netflix the other day, where someone, a child, who was just posting on a random account on Facebook, they're called spam dumps, I think, where you just post any type of content. Memes, they're not you can't tell who this account belongs to. It's a fake profile, it's a fake everything, and they post misinformation. And they started a whole revolution about aliens being in Area 51. Wakaanzisha mpaka a whole campaign. People went to protest and they wanted to occupy Area 51.
What?
Something that started out as a joke ended up there. So it's very important for you to know and follow up on what your children are doing online. And this is under the law. So I think it's just we are not very well versed with it.
Call to action. You had said you're going to come back to him and call to action.
Call to action to you and all you.
I need a pen.
Yes. Do you know how many apps your child has on their phone?
Yes, I do.
Have you gone through all of the privacy settings and safety settings on each and every app?
For me, we have a maximum. It can't be more than 10.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to download another one, it's a give or take. Which one now do you want to remove so that you can add this and why?
This is a very vigilant parent. I like this.
Vigilant.
That is what you should be doing with your children. Whenever they download the apps, you go through the settings with them. And we agree, you only download when I allow. And again, screen time. Attach some of these things to small games around the house. When you complete 10 chores, you get an added bonus hour. Relate it to them living their normal lives, and also link it to their day-to-day activities. Show these children that this AI and these apps that you use, they can be used as a tool from your normal life. Kama unaandika composition, this is how you should use them for practical uses, not just a distraction. Show them how they can be useful, because it's a double-edged sword. The same way there's a lot of dark things going on the internet, it also serves a lot of good. So let us also encourage them to use them in a way that is actually supposed to be used. There are very many apps that are child-friendly, even adult-friendly. There are apps that help you manage your little garden in the house, how to water plants on time so that you don't kill them. I know many women suffer on that. And it's the same for children. There are very many useful apps that we can direct our children towards instead of just the harmful ones.
call to action. I hope leo mko class na mna follow vitu vile zinafaa kukoliwa. And coming to you, Bobby. Bobby, you know, I like what you've talked about. Hizi online scams zenye zina happen. Umesema siku yako ikifikwa, ukifikiwa, utanasa, si ndio? But maybe your takeaway in all this conversation. Ongea tu na wase hapo nje. Unajua tunajionaga si ni wajanja, hatuwezi fikiwa, hatuwezi shikwa. But maybe also your call to action now to the parents huko nje, and also to just content creators, people like me, people like Naisanya, people like Ken, just watu tu wa kawaida.
Kwanza acha nieleze Shanice. So umesema tusi accept cookies.
Musi accept
to decline.
To decline.
Kuna kuanga na you decline all cookies always, but when they insist, kuna ile wana insistingi wanasema analytical, it assists in giving you the service. That is the only one you should have on. The marketing cookies should always be turned off. The tracking cookies should always be turned off. All of the other ones that are not necessary should be off.
Yeah, because I know absent-mindedly we just press accept, and we move.
I'm a victim of that. Hata mimi na accept. Hata Lennox amesema pia wana accept.
In fact, funny enough, there's this app, it's called CapCut. Siku kama mume.
CapCut tuko nayo.
Hata mimi ni victim. I used to edit a lot of my videos. But then we later came to find out kwa hiyo terms and conditions zenye you just tick.
I agree.
You are signing away your rights, your image rights of your face and your creativity to market and to train their tools. So these are things that, again, when you use these apps, don't just accept it.
Tunaenda tukilearn, si ndio?
Yeah.
We're learning this, all of us.
Yeah, that's actually a starting point.
Vile umemuuliza.
Yeah. I like that. You know, I've asked because venye tu umeniuliza hiyo swali, tunadhani si ni wajanjes. We think we know, we think,
yeah, we do.
You know, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been on the internet since 1990. Listen, what I'd say to people, even before I speak to the kids, I think grown-ups, parents, adults, social media users, please be cognitive, be intentional, learn these things, teach yourself. If you have... As I've grown and I've, you know, started integrating even artificial intelligence into my work, I've realized that I take time to learn about the app. I actually study and learn. I need to understand, how does this work? Why does it work like this? Why does it do like this? How does it help me? What are the consequences of me actively participating in this? And what I've learned is that it puts me in a position where I'm able to decline stuff. I'm able to say, maybe let me not use this and use this instead because the terms are better. And we don't, atusomangi the terms and conditions, but it needs a lot of deliberation. So what I'd say to people is, please, just be very, very intentional and active in whatever you do. And this is not just in the tech space. This is a life lesson for everything that you do. When you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about, you know, yourself, how you look, how you feel, how you smell, who you're going to talk to, we put a lot of intention into that. So how come we're picking and choosing where to apply? When it comes to, kwanza sisi, tunakanga kwa simu hizo 10 hours zenye, tumekuwa called out on screen time. You know, we're here saying kids can't do this, but where is your kid going to learn from if you as a mother, you're consistently on your phone? Now, mimi wacha nijeke kama example with my kitten, Honey. You know, Honey, she's very sweet and she loves attention and she loves cuddling. And this is a cat and she needs my time and affection. Sembuse, a real life human child. Sembuse. Every time they look, lazima nioneshe najua Kiswahili. Every time they look up, uko tu hivi.
Kwa simu.
Mami naweza fanya.
Kwa simu.
Mami naweza.
Kwa simu.
You never look up. The only thought or memory your kid has of you, especially when they're small, they look at you, you're always on your phone. You'll even see parents when they're hanging out with their kids and there's these phrases going on being popular on TikTok, trend. You'll say, nothing beats a jet. And your kid will finish a jet to holiday.
I know.
And your kid is like 2 years old, 1 year old. How do you think they learn these things? Where do you think they're hearing? Ni wewe kuka kwa kitanda the whole night, ulali mpaka 4 a.m. You're playing these videos over and over and over and over. And this is the kind of brain rot. Crocodilo. Siji what caterpillar nini. Mmesikia hizo vitu?
Uko personal sana.
Tong sahur and siji what. And somebody outside social media, you're thinking, what is this kid talking about? you need to learn. Mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa naona hizo vitu, lakini sina mtoto, lakini niko curious, nataka kujua, what is this they're talking about? What does it look like? Ndo naenda online naona, oh, this is what it is, this is what. And if you pay keen attention, even right now, someone was highlighting about even YouTube. There's YouTube Kids that is specifically for children.
Yes.
So as a parent, you're thinking nothing wrong could be going on. And then if you start paying attention to the YouTube shorts that are showing, they're showing a lot of AI videos of violence, of an angry man hitting his wife, or a cat fighting anatoa damu ama insects natoka wapi. These are not things you need children to be seeing. So do not abscond responsibility and just assume, you know, the teachers are doing their work. Mimi nimempea YouTube Kids, then nimempea Cocomelon. It's not enough. You really have to immerse yourself into this parenthood thing. So please, before upate mtoto to 25, vile tuna planning for other things, understand that this is also a risk assessment that you have to take in actively, and it just helps. Prevention is better than cure. Know how you want to lead in parenthood. Understand that your actions, even more than your words. Yokusema nisi kuone kwa simu leo, nisi. It has to start from you. You have to be a direct reflection of what you're expecting your kids to become. So what I'd say in summary, but in summary, kids and parents, be immersed in your parenthood. Be attentive, be intentional, show up. Usikuwe wa ule mzazi mwenye mtoto akikuona anaona tu uko kwa simu the whole time.
Thank you, Bobby.
Maybe just a last tip before we leave. It's important for a child to also know what is personal to me. Ni nini hiyo yenye ni personal kwako yenye ufai kuacha on the internet. Your name, where you live, your phone number, your school address, even your photo is personal. So encourage them not to use their actual images online. They can use easy AI-generated avatars, bitmojis on the many apps that they have. Also, location. Don't put your location on your post. Even if you want to, si saa hiyo, si in real time. Ukishaenda umetoka hapo, then you can post. Kwa sababu hizi ni vitu mtu anaweza kukufind easily nazo, or even take your account. If I know your name, if I know your phone number, if I know your email address, I can easily just assume your identity.
Or guess your password.
Exactly. Let's be very vigilant on the personal information that we put out there on social media. If it's free on the internet, you are the commodity.
That's really smart.
Thank you for that tip. Guys, stay vigilant as a parent. Tafadhali, watoto wetu wako exposed to very many things. Tupatane next week, same time, same place. Naisenya, ako online. Ken Monyo, ako online. Roberta, Bobby, Cutie Lady, Josh, to follow pale. This is an ongoing conversation that I would love us to continue next time. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. This is Citizen TV.